Chapter 1641, Chapter 1641, Caillou Ruins, 1. Chapter 1641, Caillou Ruins, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. As it was noon, the school was very lively. The students who had just finished class went to eat or bought delivery food. Xiaoyu walked in the crowd. What made Xiaoyu very uncomfortable was that no student recognized him. Did he become handsome again recently? Or did the students think that it was impossible for God Xiaoyu to appear here and not dare greet him? When Xiaoyu shook his head, he was suddenly stunned. This was because he discovered two familiar figures passing by. One was a beautiful woman in a butterfly pattern cheongsam, and the other was a young woman in a black and white panda outfit. They passed by and chatted and laughed, not paying attention to their surroundings. They were paid more attention than Xiaoyu. Vaguely, they could hear students whispering about Hua Xiaojin legend and Lin Xiaozhu legend. This made Xiaoyu's face darken. Damn, when did Senior Panda become more famous than him? He trembled in anger. When could a male beast tamer stand up? Of course, Xiaoyu judged that even if President Lin and Divine Source Legendary stood here, these students wouldn't be able to recognize them. Senior Panda. In short, Xiaoyu didn't expect Lin Xiaozhu to be here either. He subconsciously shouted. This voice made Legend Hua and Lin Xiaozhu suddenly stop. Lin Xiaozhu revealed a puzzled expression. Senior Panda? What was this title? Why was this voice so familiar? She turned to look at Xiaoyu. At this moment, Xiaoyu only wanted to slap himself. He accidentally said what was on his mind. Senior Panda, was that something you could call randomly? Cough, Senior Lin, why are you here? Xiaoyu tried to remedy the situation and waved as if nothing had happened. Xiaoyu? Lin Xiaozhu and Legend Hua looked at the young man in front of them in surprise. Similarly, they didn't expect Xiaoyu to appear at Divine Capital University. Holy shit, Xiaoyu? At this moment, a passerby finally noticed Xiaoyu and spoke in shock. It was even more strange than seeing a mythical creature descend. Pairs of big eyes landed on Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu! It's a living Xiaoyu! That day, the #1 trending topic on the Dong Huang network became Xiaoyu's shocking appearance at Divine Capital University. As for the second trending topic, Heavenly King Zhu fought the Rongguang exchange team alone and won a huge victory against the legendary Knight of Rongguang. In a quiet garden in Divine Capital University, Xiaoyu snapped his fingers and teleported Senior Lu, Legend Hua, and himself here. The roadside just now was clearly not suitable for communication. Let's teleport. There are too many people over there. Xiaoyu smiled. Aunt Hua, Senior Lin, you haven't said anything yet. Why are you here? Senior Panda smiled and said, I'll also want to know why you're here. Aunt Hua and I were invited to help. Yeah, Xiaoyu, it's more strange for you to appear in such a place, right? Hua Xiaojin's legend smiled and said, even if you appear in a university, shouldn't it be Ancient Capital University? Or are you specially here to find Xiaozhu? Senior Panda was speechless. How is that possible? Xiaoyu smiled in embarrassment and said, actually, there's a special ruin at Divine Capital University. I came to take a look. Well, but from the looks of it, there seem to be a little too many people here. I'll have to trouble the principal to give the students here a week off first. After all, I can't guarantee if anything will happen here next. He touched his chin and fell into deep thought. The Era Ruin. The Era Ruin, suspected to be a battlefield, wasn't easy to deal with. Ruin? Lin Xiaozhu said, what ruins are there now that can interest you? She had heard from Senior Lu that even the mythical ruins on Blue Planet made Xiaoyu lose interest. It's related to the origin of the iron-eating beast. It's the real origin, not the recognized one in the archaeological world now, Xiaoyu said. Who? The Panda Senior was stunned. Iron-eating beast? Really? Of course. Do you want to take a look together? Xiaoyu smiled. He knew that this guy would definitely be interested after saying it. At this moment, Senior Panda and Legend Hua looked at each other and fell into deep thought. Shiyu, where did you get the news? Senior Lin asked. What's wrong? Shiyu couldn't help but be curious when he saw Senior Lin so surprised. Actually, we came this time to solve a supernatural incident related to the iron-eating beast, Lin Xiaozhu said. Therefore, when I heard you mention the iron-eating beast, I was wondering if it was related to the iron-eating beast ruins you mentioned. Shiyu was surprised. Tell me in detail, what happened to you? The Panda Senior said, probably not long ago, Divine Capital University had a beast tamer who contracted an iron-eating beast. He often had strange dreams. In the strange dream, he dreamed that he had become a soldier riding an iron-eating beast. Then, he went to the battlefield and was killed. Generally speaking, normal people will only think that this is an ordinary nightmare, but then, there were several beast tamers who contracted iron-eating beasts in Divine Capital University who had such dreams. Moreover, after they woke up, they were very tired. Divine Capital University hired a mental doctor and also carefully checked Divine Capital University, but they didn't find anything unusual. Then, Divine Capital University gave these students a collective leave. During the holidays, they didn't have this strange dream, but after returning, a new round of dreams began. During this period, Divine Capital University also studied it themselves and hired other iron-eating beast tamers to stay in the school. The outcome was the same. These beast tamers also had similar dreams. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1642, Chapter 1642, Kaiyu Ruins, 2. Chapter 1642, Kaiyu Ruins, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. However, because these beast tamers aren't strong, they almost can't remember what happened in the dream. Their memories are very vague. This kind of thing is really strange. In the end, the old principal of Divine Capital University came to me and Aunt Hua. After all, I'm now the recognized strongest iron-eating beast tamer in Dong Huang apart from you and Senior Emperor Wu. Lin Xiaozhu smiled. And the new dream god butterfly cultivated by Aunt Hua also has extraordinary attainments in the dream Dao. In addition, she's an honorary principal of Divine Capital University. So we came to take a look. Is that so? Shiyu fell into deep thought. He closed his eyes slightly and sensed the current situation of Divine Capital University, but he didn't feel anything. Did you discover anything? Asked the Panda Senior. We might still need to investigate further, Shiyu said. You've never entered that dream, right? Lin Xiaozhu shook his head and said, "L only arrived today. I just understood the situation and haven't started the investigation with Aunt Hua. Aunt Hua, I think I know what's going on with this matter. Let me join the investigation too." Legend Hua Xiajin smiled and said, "I'm relieved to have you. Initially, I was still worried about whether I could help my old friend solve this matter, but now that you're taking action, it should be able to be resolved perfectly soon. After all, you're the strongest beast tamer on Blue Planet." Shiyu smiled bitterly. This matter has already exceeded the scope of Blue Planet. In fact, it has already exceeded the scope of this cosmic era. It's better to be serious. Even Goddess Wa only said that there was a high chance of him cracking it, not 100%. Legend Hua and Senior Panda were stunned. What did he mean? In short, don't try it on your own next. Be my assistant and act with me. Shiyu guessed that Blue Planet had upgraded and broken through Goddess Wa's seal on the era ruin. After all, when Goddess Wa sealed this ruin, it was only a top-notch divine. The strange dream was the leakage of the power of this era ruin that affected the surroundings. All right. Lin Xiaozhu immediately said, "Assistants are fine too, as long as you bring us along." "Yes, but you have to listen to my command. Firstly, Aunt Hua, let the principal of Divine Capital University clear the place first." "All right." Legend Hua nodded. Soon, when he learned that Shiyu had taken action, the principal of Divine Capital University was flattered. He immediately followed Shi Yu's request and gave all the teachers and students a month off. During this period, the school was sealed and no life was allowed to appear in Divine Capital University. Even the guardian and guardian overlord of Divine Capital University were sent flying. After that, the principal of Divine Capital University immediately slipped away, leaving Divine Capital University City, which was larger than a second-level city, to Shi Yu, Lin Xiuju, and the others. Shi Yu, what kind of ruin is it? Senior Panda couldn't help but ask. At this moment, Shi Yu and Lin Xiuju had already strolled to a back mountain of Divine Capital University. As for Legend Hua, under Shi Yu's entrustment, she tried her best to disperse the residents around Divine Capital University City and temporarily arrange for them to be elsewhere. Shi Yu got Buggy to casually create a mystic realm space that they could stay in and imagined a bunch of villas. Senior, have you heard of it? The universe will be destroyed and reborn every 10 billion years. Then, a new reincarnation will begin, Shi Yu said. This reincarnation is called a cosmic epoch. Lin Xiuju shook her head. She had been nurturing the panda army and was only at level 8 now. She didn't know much about things outside Blue Planet. The iron-eating beast race actually existed on Blue Planet in the last cosmic era more than 10 billion years ago. The origin is so far away? Lin Xiuju was shocked. It's all right, and no one can say for sure if the last cosmic era was the true origin, Shi Yu said. Next, the ruin I'm going to explore is the era ruin that survived the last era until now. It's said that it's a battlefield ruin. It was born from a battle between a powerful beast tamer who controlled a creation god dragon and a powerful beast tamer who controlled an iron-eating beast core. According to the clues I understand, only humans who have contracted pets of specific races have any hope of entering this ruin. Among them, the iron-eating beast is one of the specific races. L reckon that those beast tamers who had strange dreams were affected by this battlefield ruin. Gulp. Lin Xiuju's beautiful eyes widened. She finally knew why Shi Yu liked to explore ruins so much. Now, her curiosity had already been aroused by Shi Yu's few words. At this moment, if Shi Yu left her to explore the ruins, she would be extremely curious. Then what should we do next? Lin Xiuju was already eager to give it a try. Well, I just took a look. The main body of the ruins is still sealed by a seal. Although the seal has loosened, one don't plan to break it immediately at the moment. It would be fine if it were elsewhere, but this is a big city after all. No one knows what kind of impact the ruins of the era will bring. I'll plan to passively let the ruins affect me through entering the dream first and see if I can find any clues before making a decision. This method should have the least impact on us and the outside world. At most, we'll be a little tired after waking up like those students. So, you mean that I'll hug Flower first and you hug 11? We'll sleep first and let the power leaking from the era ruin pull us into the dream battlefield like those students? Lin Xiuju asked. That's right. Shi Yu stretched out his hand, and an apple-sized panda appeared in his hand. When it sat in Shi Yu's palm, 11 yawned. It first looked around cautiously before greeting Lin Xiuju with a cry. Flower, come out too. On Senior Lin's side, she also summoned her iron-eating beast. It had already reached the invincible overlord level, the panda named Flower that had evolved into the demon god iron-eating beast. It was also in a restrained state at this moment. It was still so cute. After being restrained, it didn't have the posture of a demon god at all. Woo woo woo. 11 greeted again. Woo. Lin Xiuju's iron-eating beast was also very surprised to see 11. When Aunt Hua is almost done preparing, let's eat the cultivation fruit and sleep, Shi Yu said. Ah. Lin Xiuju was stunned. Eat that thing to sleep. Shi Yu said, of course, the cultivation fruit can increase comprehension and learning ability. Eat it and sleep. If we encounter any special things in the dream world, we can comprehend and learn faster. I see. Lin Xiuju was still a little nervous. But one forgot to take the neutralizer. What's that? Eat it with the cultivation fruit. It's my favorite drink that can slightly resist the taste. Shiyu was speechless. When it was about time, Shiyu carried 11 and Lin Xiaoju carried flour. Both parties found a place in Divine Capital University and ate the cultivation fruit, planning to enter a sleep state. Even at the peak of the super divine level, they couldn't see the source of the power of the era ruins. Therefore, Shiyu and the others could only investigate step by step. Because of the cultivation fruit, Shiyu and the others quickly fell asleep. In his blurry consciousness, Shiyu gradually opened his eyes. However, due to his powerful control over his body, Shiyu knew that this was a dream. After opening his eyes, he realized that he was in a military tent. I see. In this dream world, I became a soldier who really existed in the last era but was already dead. A character? Then what about you? Shiyu looked at the panda lying on the ground. The panda also opened its eyes and howled. It was clearly 11. Apart from 11, the current Shiyu couldn't sense any connection with other pets. Fortunately, he could sense that his and 11's level power was still there. That was all right. No wonder those students from Divine Capital University died the moment they entered. With their strength, it would be strange if they could survive the battle between Yinglong and Kaiyu. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1643, Chapter 1643, Battle of the Era, 1. Chapter 1643, Battle of the Era, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. In the dream world. Shiyu shook his head. For him, this seemed to be a lucid dream. As expected, under the circumstances where he deliberately controlled, the stronger the mental strength, the harder it was to lose himself in the dream. Now, he could freely control his movements and state. However, the premise of everything was that it couldn't exceed his original strength. 11. Let's go find your big sister first, Shiyu immediately said to 11 after confirming that he could break free from the dream at any time. Woo! 11 nodded heavily. Shiyu brought 11 out of the tent and fell into deep thought. This was clearly a huge camp, but at this moment, the camp was extremely desolate. There were injured soldiers everywhere, and their morale was extremely desolate. The hot sun shone on the dry ground. Perhaps it was because of his dream, but Shiyu was in the best state among this group of people. Go there. Shiyu saw many iron-eating beasts in this army. Apart from the iron-eating beasts, there were also tigers, leopards, and other beasts. Their forms were strange. They were suspected to be mutated beasts from ancient times on Earth. Shiyu had seen these guys in ancient books. He and 11 came to a crippled soldier leaning against the wall. The other party and his mount, the iron-eating beast, were both on the verge of death. He and 11 realized that the pets here weren't very strong, but the soldiers were strong and strong. Every ferocious beast's physical strength was comparable to that of a demigod. This made Shiyu ponder slightly. He felt that the state of beast Shiyu seemed to be a little similar to these people. They all had super physical strength. However, Shiyu also sensed other special powers on them. It wasn't just physical strength. 11. Treat him. At Shiyu's request, 11 used the light control to help the crippled soldier illuminate his injuries. Soon, the half-conscious soldier recovered a lot and opened his eyes weakly. Doctor, he muttered. Yes. Shiyu nodded. We lost. We lost. Even if we recover, we won't be able to reverse the situation. He covered his eyes weakly and said in pain, however, we can still fight. Just as he finished speaking, his eyes suddenly widened because the violent sound of the thunder drum suddenly sounded. Bang, 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 bang. The thunderous drumbeat made a high voice come from inside the broken army. The enemy is attacking, prepare to fight. Under the high voice, the soldiers, regardless of their injuries, got up with difficulty. It was the same for Shiyu and the soldier who had just been treated by 11. His expression was ferocious as he shouted, let's fight. With that said, he looked at his iron-eating beast. Under his gaze, the iron-eating beast's entire body immediately lingered with black and white light. It directly turned into a spear under Shiyu and 11's noses and was grabbed by the soldier. When Shiyu saw this, he quickly looked around. Some beast-type creatures that should have been mounts turned into weapons under the control of this group of crippled soldiers. Blades, spears, swords, armors, and big crossbows. Of course, there were also those that didn't change and were rode under by the soldiers. Now, with weapons in hand, this group of crippled soldiers immediately descended like divine weapons, their auras increasing greatly. Boom! However, compared to the thunderclap coming from afar, the morale here was still much weaker. At this moment, many clouds suddenly appeared in the originally clear sky. In the clouds, a light rain gradually fell, and the figure of a winged divine dragon was vaguely visible. Not good, it's Yinglong. Seeing this divine dragon phantom, the crippled soldiers below were shocked. Caillou, why aren't you surrendering? For figures appeared in the clouds behind the divine dragon. 3 men and a woman rode the clouds and appeared in the sky, shouting at the remaining soldiers below. At the same time, behind them, a vast army charged towards the remaining army with the war drums. It was pitch black. Ha 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 ha! Accompanied by a loud laugh, a strong man from God knows where looked at the sky from the ground. His ears were like a sword, and he had a horn on his head. Several divine beasts followed beside him, and one of them was an iron-eating beast that Shiyu was familiar with. Before the burly man could say a word, he charged forward. The iron-eating beast directly turned into a black demonic saber in front of Shiyu like other ferocious beasts. It was held in the burly man's hand and let out a demonic roar. Boom! In the sky, the aura of Yinglong and the demon blade resisted each other, instantly overturning the world. The army below also attacked the other party under the protection of the bosses of both parties. They're fighting just like that? Shiyu exclaimed and retreated repeatedly. He naturally had no intention of joining the battle. He kept searching to see if there were any soldiers who didn't fight similar to him, but he realized that he didn't see any soldiers suspected to be Senior Lin and Flower. Wait! L subconsciously judged that everyone will enter the same dream, but it's also possible that everyone will enter a different dream world. Therefore, it's understandable that we can't find Senior Lin here. I have a contract with 11, but not with Senior Panda. Realizing this, Shiyu looked at 11 and said, "Let's find a safe place to watch the battle first." Roar, roar. At this moment, 11 nodded crazily. In the sky, Yinglong controlled the storm and displayed an invincible aura, giving 11 the feeling that it was an epoch god. As for the burly man holding the demon saber formed by the iron-eating beast, he was also very powerful. With a slash, he split open the wind, rain, and sky. The two parties quickly started an intense battle. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1644, Chapter 1644, Battle of the Era, 2. Chapter 1644, Battle of the Era, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Shiyu, who only had 11 beside him at the moment, indeed couldn't interfere in a battle of this level. After all, after breaking through to the divine level, 11 had yet to add points. At this moment, it only had high-level divine battle power. Even with his strengthening, it was still very far from super divine battle power. Troublesome. Everyone was fighting. Shiyu originally only wanted to observe and didn't want to join, but the soldiers from Yinglong's side didn't care. Shiyu and the others were weak to begin with, and there were very few people. Soon, an enemy army locked onto Shiyu and 11 and charged over. There's someone over there. This group of people didn't control wild beasts. They all revealed powerful auras and attacked with weapons. 11, finish them, Shiyu called. 11 nodded and knocked the other party out with a thought. The soldiers of Emperor Huang army immediately fell to the ground with white eyes and white foam coming out of their mouths. Interesting, don't be anxious. Shiyu took a deep breath, his eyes shining. He and 11 were digging deeper into the power system mastered by the Kaiyu army in the dream world. Although Shiyu and 11 didn't inherit the memories of the two dream illusions, under their hard memories and their observation of the battles of the other soldiers, some special feelings still made them understand something. Soon, they entered a state of enlightenment. The cultivation fruit fused with the time fruit, the world tree fruit, and other powers. The enhancement to the learning ability in the dream was very huge. When he first saw the soldiers of the Kaiyu army transforming their pets into weapons, Shiyu originally thought that this was a beast-taming talent. On Blue Planet and World King Planet, there was also such a beast-taming talent that could turn pets into weapons, armors, and other equipment. However, after careful identification, Shiyu discovered the difference between the two. The ability mastered by the Kaiyu army should be higher. Compared to the traditional weaponization beast-taming talent, these beast soldiers of the Kaiyu army were stronger. Their weapons' bodies combined all the abilities of their pets and refined them into a divine weapon. A casual attack was the ultimate profundity sublimated by the fusion of all the pets' skills. In other words, if Shiyu mastered the traditional soldierization talent and turned 11 into a weapon, 11's skill wouldn't change much. Not only might it not be able to increase, but it might also be restricted by its new form and be unable to perfectly display its original strength. However, the soldier power mastered by the soldiers of the Kaiyu army allowed the pet to fuse all its power and form a perfect divine weapon. Not only would the pet not be burdened by its form, but it could also make itself stronger. With one attack, it would be the fusion of multiple divine skills. Is this the true ultimate skill of the weapon master, the god of arms? Shiyu looked at the two parties fighting and thought to himself. No wonder the myths and legends said that Emperor Huang had already lost 9 times to Kaiyu before he obtained the help of Yinglong. Although these crippled soldiers looked miserable, they should be elites of the 9 Li Horde. Otherwise, it was impossible for them to use this powerful divine power so proficiently. I have to learn this ability. Shiyu made up his mind. This skill was very strong. After mastering this, it was equivalent to letting the pet fuse all the skills into a super combination skill. The increase in strength would definitely be a qualitative change. This ability was several times more impressive than the combination of the 4 holy equipment worn by Beast Shiyu. The 4 holy equipment was equivalent to an additional skill. And this soldier divine skill was equivalent to multiplication. At the moment, Kai Tong's immortal slaying sword formation was the most luxurious combination skill in the team. It was made of a total of 8 divine skills. Kai Tong had used all its skills, so its power was naturally needless to say. However, apart from Kai Tong, the strongest combination skills of the other pets couldn't be used all the skills. However, with this divine power, every pet should be able to do similar things to Kai Tong. This increase in strength was undoubtedly huge. However, at the moment, 11 and Shiyu could only learn with difficulty through seeing, recalling, and enlightenment. Without systematic teaching, it was still too difficult to learn in this chaotic battle. Woo! 11 summoned the 8 trigrams Bin Bear clone and let them protect itself and Shiyu to comprehend and learn. After an unknown period of time, the voice gradually fell. Apart from Shiyu and the others, all the other Kaiyu soldiers seemed to have been killed. In the sky, Kaiyu, who was fighting Yinglong, had already been beheaded. In the rain, it was already a rain of blood. I'm indignant. In the sky, Kaiyu, who was beheaded, could still roar. Its expression was tragic, and it clearly couldn't accept its failure. As he roared, his powerful obsession with victory even changed the rules, forcing Yinglong and the other divine beasts to retreat and not dare to approach. Ooh? Wait, there's someone else. At this moment, the people in the cloud seemed to have discovered Shiyu and the others. They immediately ordered Yinglong to deal with them. Roar! In the sky, the golden dragon swung its claws down. Shiyu and 11 suddenly opened their eyes. Damn it, the time is too short. There's no time at all. Woo! 11 condensed its strongest power and activated one thought of God and demon at the same time to resist, but it was no match for it at all. Soon, even Shi Yu and the others were slapped to death like the other Kaiyu army soldiers. Hoo-ee! In reality, Shi Yu and 11, who had been dreaming, suddenly opened their eyes and broke out in cold sweat. They felt that their bodies were even weaker than after adding points many times. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1645, Chapter 1645, Battle of the Era, 3. Chapter 1645, Battle of the Era, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. It looked like maintaining a lucid dream consumed a lot of energy. You're awake. At this moment, a gentle voice came from the side. Shi Yu looked over and realized that Senior Panda woke up earlier than him. She was also haggard and drenched in sweat. She was clearly shocked by the scene in the dream. Senior, are you all right? I'm fine. As long as you're fine. Shi Yu said, do you still have any impression of what you experienced in the dream? The Panda Senior said, well, I seem to have become a logistics unit in the army that takes care of the iron-eating beasts. Then, I heard a drumbeat and the war began. Flower and I were no match for those soldiers at all. We were quickly killed and woke up. Is that so? Shi Yu said, did you see a battle between a dragon and an iron-eating beast? No, the Panda Senior was stunned. I'll understand. Shi Yu nodded. Woo woo voo voo. At this moment, 11 was still sulking at the side. Clearly, it was very unconvinced by the outcome of its crushing. Looks like the situation everyone experiences after entering the dream is different. Shi Yu felt that what he had experienced should be the final battle between Emperor Huang and Kai Yu. Yinglong had helped Emperor Huang kill Kai Yu. At this moment, the Kai Yu army was a beaten army in total collapse. The soldiers didn't have much strength left. However, what Senior Panda experienced should still be the previous battle. When it came to Shi Yu, all the logistics troops would have long been gone. Did you discover anything useful? Senior Panda asked. I discovered that the iron-eating beast evolution system over there is different from ours. Apart from that, the human cultivation system seems to be different from ours. Every soldier is very strong. Yes, I roughly know how this era ruin was born, Shi Yu said. Next, Shi Yu recounted what he had experienced in the ruins to Senior Panda. On both sides of the war, one is Emperor Huang, and the other is Kai Yu. The outcome of the battle is Kai Yu's death. However, because Kai Yu is very strong, he developed an unwilling obsession with the outcome of his death. His obsession turned into an era ruin. Therefore, if you want this ruin to not affect the outside world and crack the ruin, the way is to unlock Kai Yu's obsession and help him defeat the Yinglong that killed him in the obsession world. This, Senior Panda was shocked. Can you do that? Didn't you say that you and 11 were also instantly? Woo woo woo. Shi Yu scratched his head with both hands and said, this is actually not the main thing. The main thing is that this dream world isn't simple. Although it's only formed by the obsession of an expert, the composition of the entire illusory world has many inheritances from the last era. Just like the different evolution paths of the iron-eating beasts you've seen, the strange skills mastered by the soldiers might be able to be learned. In the dream world, 11 and I tried to learn the power system of the previous era, but because the time was too short, we didn't succeed. Of course, if I successfully unseal Kai Yu's obsession, I might be able to obtain greater benefits. However, it's not easy. It's even harder than the one I mentioned, Shi Yu said. Then, what should we do next? The Panda Senior said. Of course it's to try to crack it, Shi Yu said. Senior, you're still relatively awake in the dream, right? Yes. Senior Panda nodded. Shi Yu said, how about this? Next, enter the dream ruins 1 or 2 times a day. I'll get baby ginseng to provide you with enough world tree fruits, cultivation fruits, and spiritual nourishing food. Help me as much as possible to collect useful information and the power system of the last era in the ruins world. Finally, pass your learning results to me through Susu's inheritance water drop. What about you? Asked the panda senior. Shiyu fell into deep thought and said, you've realized, right? After we enter the dream world, our real strength can be incorporated. Although it's only a portion of strength, related to the iron-eating beast. Shiyu looked at 11. But it's enough, so I wonder if I can enter the ruins again after increasing my strength in the outside world and see if I can defeat the Yinglong and crack the ruins. I have a way to quickly increase 11's strength, but this way, I can't be distracted from entering the ruins to explore in the short term. I need someone to help me enter the ruins to collect information to avoid wasting too much time. All right. Senior Panda didn't doubt that Shiyu couldn't do it. She said, then we'll do as you say. Shiyu smiled and said, I'll do it as soon as possible. If you feel any discomfort after entering the dream multiple times, you can stop at any time. However, with baby ginseng supplements, it shouldn't be a problem. Yes, the panda senior said. But I really didn't expect the iron-eating beast core of the last era to be so strong. Of course, Shiyu said. But if you can gain anything, senior, you should be able to use it on the iron-eating beast core of this era. Oh right. Senior Panda's eyes lit up. Entering the ruins to explore many times seemed to be an opportunity to increase her enhancement strength. If she and Flower could also learn the power system of the last era, she would definitely be able to achieve good results in world competitions. She might not be inferior to Senior Emperor Wu, Senior Lu, and the others. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1646, Chapter 1646, Battle of the Era, 4. Chapter 1646, Battle of the Era, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Wait, do you want to call Junior Bai, Senior Emperor Wu, and the others to explore together? This way, the progress might be faster, said Senior Panda. Senior Emperor Wu is fighting the God-sealing battle. It'll probably take another half a month to end. Senior Whitebrook's strength is about the same as yours. Forget it, Shiyu said, impoverished. Baby Ginseng still has to assist 11 in its cultivation. There are too many people exploring. Its supplements won't be able to supply them. Is that so? The Panda Senior nodded and felt the pressure increase. This time, whether the exploration could produce results depended on her. Don't worry, I believe you. It's related to the cultivation of the iron-eating beast. Senior, you're the strongest. Don't do this. Truth, Shiyu said with a smile. If not for the skill index, he wouldn't have been able to develop so many iron-eating beast skills like Senior Panda's family. After raising the iron-eating beast for so long, Senior Panda had surpassed her master and obtained all of Senior Ji Mengu's teachings. Her current cultivation EXP for the iron-eating beast shouldn't even be comparable to Emperor Wu. After all, it was also Senior Ji Mengzhu who helped feed Emperor Wu's iron-eating beast at that time. Let's talk to Aunt Hua about the situation of the first exploration first. The holidays of Divine Capital University will probably still be delayed. This battlefield ruin is very dangerous. If it completely descends, the obsession might materialize the battlefield and cause huge damage, Shiyu said with a sigh. He might have to ask Senior Space Emperor to come and strengthen the seal of the ruins. He would see if the battle in Dream World could dispel his obsession first. All right, said the Panda Senior. Next, Shiyu decided to split the work with Senior Panda to crack the ruins. Senior Panda took a side mission and tried to explore the power system of the 9 Li Horde's Kai-Yu army in the previous era. As for Shiyu, he was preparing for the main storyline to see if he could obtain benefits from Kai-Yu's obsession by defeating Yinglong. In Shiyu's opinion, the difficulty of this main mission was even greater than Susu defeating the Abyss Super Divine. After all, the strength displayed by the Yinglong in the Dream World was comparable to Super Divine battle power. It was almost impossible for 11 to defeat it without the battle power of an Epoch God. Of course, although it was difficult, as long as Shiyu was given time, it shouldn't be a problem. After breaking through to the divine level, 11 had yet to start adding points. All the divine skills proficiency was still below expert level. As long as he added all the divine skills to perfection, he could definitely fight the other party even if he didn't defeat it. At that time, with Caillou's obsession, he might not lose. And all the points were added to the perfect state, Protect plus 47, although it wasn't an epoch god yet, with the quality of 11 skills and him, it shouldn't be a problem to wait for an epoch god. Therefore, in the end, if he wanted to crack this ruin, he had to add points. Somewhere in Divine Capital, Shiyu found a place that wasn't affected by the ruins and settled down. He summoned Susu and the others and said, "Susu, don't eat the crown first. Come and support 11's points first." Ning. Susu looked at Shiyu eagerly and asked if it couldn't enter the dream world. If possible, it could deal with Yinglong. Buggy also wanted to fight Yinglong. Between the Green Dragon and Yinglong, which was stronger? It felt that the Green Dragon should be stronger. After all, one was at the cosmic level in the last era, while Yinglong looked to only have super divine battle power. Unfortunately, it couldn't enter Shiyu's dream. This made Buggy very confused. Woo! Don't be like this. 11 stood on Shiyu's shoulder and protested. Yinglong was clearly its experience bag. Could it be that it was going to be snatched away too? The power of the era ruins is that strange. If it could easily change the rules, there wouldn't be so many era ruins in World King Planet and the universe that no one could crack. You have to know that even cosmic overlords have era ruins that can't be cracked, Shiyu said. The pets nodded. All right, they looked at 11. Then they would assist 11 in adding points first. Woo. 11 bowed to its teammates. Next, Shiyu and Senior Panda stayed near Divine Capital University and started to split the work. With the help of Shiyu's resources, the senior entered the Dream Ruins day after day to explore. As for Shiyu, he added points in the outside world. Just like that, half a month passed in the blink of an eye. At this moment, the God-sealing battle on World King Planet should have already ended. Another powerful perfect god was also born in Shiyu's team. Name 11. Skill. Divine level, Yin-Yang Millstone, perfect. Battle god body, perfect, 8. Trigrams clone, perfect. One thought of god and demon, perfect plus 47, light. Control, perfect. Dark control, perfect. Metal control, perfect. Star. Refinement, perfect. From the high-level divine battle Dower half a month ago, with the Sudidortov. A bunch of pets, 11 directly had the battle power of an epoch god. As Shiyu mainly added points to the self-mutilating explosive skill, one thought of god and demon, perhaps 11 could instantly have the battle power of an epoch god now. As the saying went, good things came in pairs. After Shiyu temporarily completed a small goal, Senior Panda worked hard to explore for half a month and finally gained something. Shiyu! Lin Xiuju, who was wearing a panda suit, came to Shiyu in surprise. I got something. Are you there? I found the evolution path of the iron-eating beast in the last era. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1647, Chapter 1647, Gradually Understanding Everything, 1. Chapter 1647, Gradually Understanding Everything, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Senior Panda's energetic arrival seemed to have dispersed the fatigue of exploring the ruins. The evolution path of the iron-eating beast in the last era? When Shiyu heard Senior Panda's voice, he was also overjoyed. He was pressed for time the last time he explored the ruins and didn't pay too much attention. Now that Senior Panda had gained something, it was undoubtedly the first surprise from the feedback of this ruin. Woo! Upon hearing the new evolution form, 11 took a step forward, raised its arm, and danced around. Hee. After Senior Panda arrived, she said, moreover, the evolution method is very simple. There's no need for external objects at all. You just have to rely on the iron-eating beast's own strength. Oh? Shiyu said, the kind of evolution that optimizes one's race? The threshold is at the totem level? Totem-level creatures could optimize their bloodlines and evolve on their own. If they didn't use the evolution resources of the outside world, Shiyu would have thought of this immediately. No, the Panda Senior said. It's fine at the awakening level, but... However, it requires a hardening skill at the Dao proficiency level and a certain talent, Senior Panda said with a smile. Dao proficiency, this proficiency level, had already been popularized in Dong Huang through Shiyu. When a super skill was trained to Dao proficiency, there was a chance to advance to a quasi-divine skill. As for quasi-divine skills, they were the key to the evolution of ordinary races into mythical races, requiring the hardening of Dao proficiency. This condition was already very simple in Shiyu and the others' current realm. After all, it was only a low-level skill. Even super skills weren't difficult. After the revival of the Blue Planet's laws, the skill level had already improved a lot. Apart from that, many resources to increase comprehension talent had also appeared. Transcendence was no longer the highest skill level pursued by beast tamers. It's probably because the iron-eating beast needs to use the hardening skill to modify itself, just like how it circulates the cultivation method. After mastering it, it can evolve and awaken new skills. It's still hardening. How about this? Flower, come, show Shiyu. Under Senior Panda's call, the panda on her shoulder crawled down. Wait, your founder means that you've already successfully evolved. Of course, Senior Panda said proudly, puffing out her chest. Shiyu opened his mouth slightly and said, all right, the progress is much faster than I imagined. Actually, it's all thanks to the cultivation fruit and the world tree fruit. The Panda Senior shook her head and said, I can feel that without the support of your resources, even if we were given a few years, it would be impossible to enter this evolution method. Practicing this is too difficult. It's dozens of times more difficult than training the proficiency of super skills. It even involves the modification of the brain. You guys are still powerful enough, Shiyu said. All right, quickly let me take a look. No problem. Lin Xiaozhu smiled. In the next moment, she looked at her iron-eating beast. This iron-eating beast let out a cry and began to show a new evolution form that was no longer restrained. Boom! 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 Its entire body emitted a spatial vibration sound. Its eyes were deep, and black hardening substance flowed on its body. In the next moment, a huge aura erupted. Law patterns lingered on Senior Panda's iron-eating beast. With a whoosh, 2 new pairs of arms and 2 new heads grew on the iron-eating beast. Roar! The 3-headed and 6-armed iron-eating beast roared, its aura sweeping out. 3 heads and 6 arms? Shiyu was surprised. Was this the evolution path of the iron-eating beast in the last era? To be honest, it didn't give Shiyu much of a surprise. This was because even in this era, there were many similar evolution methods, such as Little Quass optimizing itself into a 3-headed snake. A long time ago, Shiyu had also encountered a Minghua beast tamer who had mastered the 3-headed and 6-armed beast taming talent. At this moment, Shiyu could indeed sense that Senior Lin's panda had become stronger. It should have reached the mythical race. Of course, Shiyu wasn't in a hurry to deny it. He understood that this form might not be the key. The key was what accompanying skills the iron-eating beast had mastered after evolution. It's not over. At this moment, under Shiyu's witness, Senior Panda took out 6 swords from her spatial equipment. Every level had reached level 7, so it wasn't high. She threw the swords and sabers to the 3-headed and 6-armed iron-eating beast one by one. After her 6 arms took the swords and sabers one by one, under Shiyu's slightly stunned expression, the iron-eating beast's strength increased further. Soon, with its overlord body, it temporarily approached the strength of a demigod. At this level, it was no longer inferior to Shiyu's pet's battle power at the overlord level. At the overlord level, it was close to a demigod. What's this? Shiyu asked. After the iron-eating beast evolves, it will awaken a new skill. This new skill is a quasi-divine skill. It's called weapon control. No matter what divine weapon it is, as long as I hold it in my hand, I can immediately control them perfectly like I'm controlling my hands and feet. I can display 200% of the power of this weapon and increase my battle power greatly. The iron-eating beast's 3 heads and 6 arms should also have evolved to match this skill. 6 arms can allow it to control more weapons. 3 heads can allow it to react faster and multitask. The Kaiyu army is very proficient in using weapons. I see. Arms expert, this is the first time I've seen such a skill, Shiyu said. On World King Planet, he had never heard of any arms expert skill. At most, it was a single weapon expert. For example, the sword Dao Will and sword Body Kai Tong had previously mastered could allow it to have a higher mastery of sword arms, but compared to this arms expert, there was clearly a small difference. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1648, Chapter 1648, Gradually Understanding Everything, 2. Chapter 1648, Gradually Understanding Everything, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. From Flower's performance just now, the powerful thing about this skill was that even if the weapon had nothing to do with the user and was purely an external object, it could immediately be expertly used. He didn't remember when Senior Lin's iron-eating beast would use swords. But from the looks of it, the other party's control over swords was no longer inferior to or even exceeded most sword spirit races. How is it? Is this skill powerful? Senior Panda felt that it was very powerful, but she didn't understand. She needed Shiyu to analyze it. Very strong, and the future is promising. On the World King Planet, there are many ancient divine weapons, even era divine weapons. They don't have life and purely have powerful strength. No one can control them at all. Perhaps, the control of this weapon can control them to further strengthen the iron-eating beast. Also, didn't those soldiers in the ruins battlefield master the ability to turn pets into weapons? Not only can beast tamers use this beast soldier themselves, but they might also be able to give it to iron-eating beasts who know how to control weapons. At that time, it's equivalent to 2 pets fusing, and it's not an ordinary fusion. Their battle power will also increase greatly. This ability is top-notch even on World King Planet, let alone Blue Planet. Great! Senior Panda was excited. Shiyu was telling the truth. What power could a skill from the last era display with the divine weapons left behind from the last era? Shiyu didn't know, but it definitely couldn't be weak. Of course, this wasn't the key for Shiyu. Shiyu felt that the evolution system of the 3-headed and 6-armed panda was a little inferior to that of the Chaos Panda. However, although it was a little lacking, Shiyu could accept this weapon control skill with a smile. After all, his pets all had star refinement skills and their own exclusive weapons. The weapon control might be able to make them even more powerful when using their star arms. Then I'll pass these EXP to you through the inheritance water droplet now. Lin Xiaozhu said. There's no hurry. Apart from these, are there any other gains? Lin Xiaozhu shook his head and said, no, my exploration direction is the evolution of the iron-eating beasts and the cultivation system of the humans of the last era. Among them, the progress of the iron-eating beasts is pretty good, but the feeling I get from the humans. It's as if the humans of our era are not the same species as the humans of the last era. The cultivation system is completely incompatible. On the other hand, the iron-eating beasts are definitely the same species. You feel that way too? Shiyu was stunned and fell into deep thought. The last time he entered the ruins and wanted to comprehend the ability of those soldiers to turn their pets into weapons, he also felt this way. He clearly felt that the skill was right in front of him and he could learn it immediately, but his body. Brain, I know it. Body, no, you won't. It's all right. There are more solutions than difficulties, Shiyu said. He already had an idea. That was, he would let his brain learn it first. As for whether his body knew how to do it, it didn't matter. If the humans of this era were really not suitable to cultivate the system of the previous era, then what about Beast Yu? Beast Yu was a life form from the last era. Perhaps he could use his consciousness to control Beast Yu to cultivate the power of those soldiers? Senior, one want to enter the ruins dream again, Shiyu said. Enter now? Lin Xiuzhu was surprised. Only half a month had passed since the last time. Yes, enter now, Shiyu said. Although 11 still had a lot of room for improvement, Shiyu still planned to give it a try. Most importantly, leaving a ruin behind and not exploring it could only add points. Shiyu was stifled. Shiyu prepared to enter the ruins again. After giving his pets instructions, he ate the cultivation fruit and entered the dream. Apart from him, 11 also entered the dream. As for the other pets, they were protecting Shiyu at the side, including Beast Shiyu. They were all beside him. Ah! Shiyu closed his eyes and opened them. In the dream world, Shiyu rubbed his head with a headache. Then, he rubbed a horn. Holy shit, Shiyu exclaimed and completely woke up. Moo! Roar! Just as Shiyu was cursing, beast roars came from beside him. He took a closer look and realized that he was in an even larger army tent. He seemed to have been recuperating just now. There were especially many bottles of medicine around him. As for the surrounding creatures, apart from a familiar panda, there was also a huge bull and a huge bird. There was an 80% chance that the panda was 11, but this huge bull and huge bird were definitely not Shiyu's pets. However, Shiyu knew them. When Kaiyu and Yinglong fought, these two guys were divine beasts on Kaiyu's side and gave Kaiyu a lot of help. Unfortunately, in the end, they were all killed by Yinglong. Damn, I changed my identity this time? L became Kaiyu? Shiyu was stunned. Was it because after 11 became stronger, his identity in their dream changed? As expected, 11 was the one dragging him down the last time. With his strength at the 11th heavenly layer of the divine level, he should have possessed Kaiyu long ago. Bang, 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 bang. While Shiyu was still in a daze, the thunderous drumbeat sounded again. The enemy is attacking, prepare to fight. Not good, it's Yinglong. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1649, Chapter 1649, Gradually Understanding Everything, 3. Chapter 1649, Gradually Understanding Everything, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Kaiyu, why aren't you surrendering? Familiar voices sounded, making Shiyu's expression darken. Previously, he was a soldier and could still slack off. This time, he directly became Yinglong's hunting target. He couldn't slack off even if he wanted to. Although it was a dream, Shiyu felt that he was too filial to participate in the battle of a group of ancestors and even beat up a few. Forget it, it's a dream anyway. 11, let's go. Shiyu and 11 walked out of the tent under the confused expressions of the bull beast and the bird beast and arrived at the center of the battlefield. Boss! Seeing Shiyu appear, many crippled soldiers shouted excitedly. At this moment, Shiyu only had eyes for the golden dragon in the sky. Kaiyu, surrender, Emperor Huang said in the clouds, thinking that this battle was definitely won. As an orthodox, he had already obtained the recognition of the world. Even if Kaiyu was stronger than him, he definitely wouldn't lose with the help of Yinglong. Ha 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 ha. Shiyu smiled and directly activated his beast-taming talent, Spirit Taiji Domain. In the next moment, the phantom of the 11 heavenly layers appeared behind Shiyu. A realm formed. The entire battlefield was instantly covered by the Taiji Domain. Above the 11th heavenly layer, 2 stars appeared, and a pair of yin-yang fish surrounded Shiyu. Roar! Standing in the Taiji Domain, 11 kept enlarging to a few hundred meters. It stopped after having a size that could resist Yinglong. At that moment, as Shiyu displayed his strength, Yinglong and the others revealed incredulous expressions. What's this? Kaiyu still has a trump card. Roar! After enlarging, 11 directly gave Yinglong a greeting gift. Yin-Yang divine power flowed in its body and directly activated one thought of God and demon. God and demon coexisted on its body, and it slashed its palm at Yinglong. Roar! The huge Yinglong couldn't react to 11's attack and was instantly sent flying to a nearby mountain, blasting several mountains before stopping. The power of Taiji. Impossible! It's impossible for Kaiyu to master such power. Emperor Huang was shocked. After seeing that Kaiyu's third-ranked Mount Pet could even smash over to assist his strongest trump card, Yinglong, he was extremely confused. Similarly confused were Kaiyu's Bull Beast and Bird Beast. These two pets were Kaiyu's true capable subordinates. On the other hand, the Iron-Eating Beast dragged down a lot in the previous battle. In the end, Kaiyu even turned it into a weapon to use to avoid being dragged down again. However, from just now, they had felt that there was something wrong with Kaiyu and that Iron-Eating Beast. Now, seeing that the Iron-Eating Beast had sent Yinglong flying and directly defeated them, the Cow, Beast, and Bird Beast were completely stunned. What was going on? Who exactly admitted defeat? Shiyu floated in the sky. Under the black and white stars, he was like 11, a god and a demon. He was extremely domineering. Seeing that 11, who was both a god and a demon, could indeed temporarily suppress Yinglong with his support, he laughed out loud and felt that it was very exciting. However, Shiyu also understood that this was only a temporary suppression. 11's body couldn't maintain the one thought of god and demon for long. The level of the physique skill was too different from the one thought of god and demon. Moreover, there were still many experts on the Huang Emperor's side who had yet to attack, such as the Heavenly Maiden Ba who had come from the upper world and defeated the Fengbo Rain Master. Of course, the power system displayed by Shiyu was definitely something Yinglong and the other gods had never seen on Kaiyu before. Of course, Shiyu could only do this. He couldn't use Kaiyu's power at all and could only use his own. However, the three ancestors weren't very strong at this stage. Even the invincible Yinglong only had the battle power of an Era Divine and Super Divine. Shiyu felt that he could deal with it himself. Unfortunately, I can only use my own power system. If I can use Kaiyu's power system to fight, I might be able to learn more. It's not a problem to use its own system, but there's no time to learn. If only Beast Shiyu could also enter a dream. He can fight himself and let it learn. Then, we can split the work. As Shiyu muttered in his heart, a change suddenly occurred in the mental connection, surprising Shiyu slightly. He suddenly felt a mental connection with Beast Shiyu. It was as if it could summon Beast Shiyu at any time. It really works? Shiyu was stunned. At this moment, in the distance, Yinglong flew up again. Its body was heavily injured by the black and white lightning. However, the first thing it did when it flew up this time was not to counterattack, but to say, "You're not Kaiyu." "Who are you?" "You're not Kaiyu," Emperor Huang and the others also said. Of course, Shiyu was just about to talk nonsense, but at this moment, even Kaiyu, who was possessed by Shiyu, began to reject him, stunning Shiyu. Get out! Accompanied by an uncontrollable roar from Kaiyu's body, Shiyu's spirit seemed to be squeezed out of Kaiyu's body. This made Shiyu curse. It wasn't like he wanted to possess this lousy man. "It's your obsession that let me enter your body, and you're the one who wants me to get out now. Why was it so difficult to be a good person and help you get rid of your obsession?" As Shiyu cursed, he was still squeezed out of his body by Kaiyu. However, to Shiyu's surprise, after he came out, he wasn't in a form like a soul, nor was he a spiritual body, let alone awakening. Instead, it gradually materialized into Beast Shiyu. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1650, Chapter 1650, Gradually Understanding Everything, 4. Chapter 1650, Gradually Understanding Everything, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. He summoned Beast Shiyu and possessed him. Boom! Shiyu stopped in midair, and the Taiji domain directly disappeared. 11 discovered the change and immediately shrank, instantly appearing beside Shiyu. Woo woo woo. It didn't understand what was going on. You are. It's you? In the world of obsession, Emperor Huang, Kaiyu, Yinglong, and the others had incredulous expressions when they saw Shiyu's face. Right on the heels of that, Yinglong shouted something that made Shiyu's hair stand on end. Shiyu, do you want to interfere in this war? Do you want to challenge the Shiyu? 11. Shiyu looked like he had seen a ghost. Wait, what was going on? You know me? Shiyu was stunned. Stop kidding. I've heard of you, but why are you helping Kaiyu? Emperor Huang said. At this moment, Kaiyu, who had recovered, also had a furious expression. Shiyu, why are you occupying my body? In an instant, Shiyu fell silent. Before he could ask more, the figures of Emperor Huang, Kaiyu, and Yinglong shattered like a dream bubble, and the entire dream world shattered. The second time Shiyu entered the ruins, it directly ended in this strange way. In the outside world, in the room, under the worried expressions of a bunch of pets, Shiyu suddenly opened his eyes. His entire body was drenched in sweat. He immediately got up and panted heavily. Woo! 11 also woke up with a stunned expression. Its round face revealed confusion as it looked at Shiyu curiously. He kept feeling that Beast Tamers had many secrets. But it had yet to fight. Why was it over? Beside him, Beast Shiyu didn't seem to have changed much. Shiyu looked at him and then at the many pets and took a deep breath. What's going on? Yi. What's wrong? What's wrong? Ling wasn't around and was refining the lucky star. Baby Ginseng took the initiative to be the think tank to help Shiyu analyze. Me too. The turtle also took the initiative to volunteer with the scholar hat it had taken from Baby Ginseng. He was killed again? Chi looked at Shiyu and 11 with heartache. That's not it. Shiyu shook his head. However, in this dream, I seem to have successfully established a connection with Beast Shiyu. It can also enter the dream world like 11. Perhaps this is related to him coming from the last era. But the problem is that some obsession illusions in the dream seem to know Beast Shiyu. It's ridiculous. Shiyu went crazy. Gee! No? Could it be that his mind has already been interfered with by the dream and has purely become the dreaming stage? Buggy said. It had studied dreams. Most dreams were fake. It could even control dreams and let Shiyu fall in love with the worm empress in the dream. Anything ridiculous could happen in the dream. Just like what Shiyu had said just now. Therefore, was Shiyu already disturbed by the dream just now? That's a possibility. Perhaps it's because I'm too tired from adding points that my dream is distorted. However, I keep feeling that things aren't that simple, Shiyu said in deep thought. Yi. Didn't they say that Beast Shiyu came from the last era? Then is it possible that they're your acquaintances? Baby Ginseng analyzed from the perspective of reincarnation. Yi. Because it's an acquaintance, the obsession phantom will change when it sees you. Impossible, Shiyu said. When I was born in my previous life, it was already thousands of years after the Battle of Zhuolu, or even further. In the era I was in, there were no longer transcendent existences. It seems to have entered the cultivationless age again. I'm just an ordinary person. How can I be recognized by Yinglong? Then is it possible that Shiyu, you? After your previous life died, your soul didn't directly come to the next era, but during this period, there was an experience you forgot. In this experience, returning to the past isn't impossible, Chi said. As a time sprite, she was qualified to say this. As soon as Chi finished speaking, Shiyu fell into deep thought again. During his death and transmigration, was there still an experience he had forgotten? In fact, during this experience, he was so powerful that he transmigrated into space and time and let Yinglong and Kaiyu know him. Looking at the super divine beast Shiyu was directly numb. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1651, Chapter 1651, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 1. Chapter 1651, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Looks like the direction of exploring the Kaiyu ruins is about to change. After entering the Kaiyu ruins this time, Shiyu no longer thought about the evolution method of the iron-eating beast era or the cultivation system of the previous era. These were all unimportant. He only cared about why Yinglong and the others knew him. 11. Let's not fight Yinglong anymore. I'll take you to the Overlord territory to fight real super divines later. The name of the Overlord territory was the same as the Cosmic Sea, the Contaminated Land, the Worm Mother Nest, and the Behemoth Empire. It's an obsession phantom to begin with. Defeating it probably won't be very helpful in training you. It's not a necessary battle, unlike Susu and the Abyss Super Divine, who are incompatible like fire and water. There's a reason to win. Sob Eg11 expressed that Shiyu was talking nonsense. It was already very happy to be able to fight a dragon, but it listened to Shiyu. If I help Kaiyu resolve his obsession, the ruins might completely disappear. On the other hand, if Kaiyu's obsession can't be resolved, the ruins will definitely exist forever. This way, there are also more opportunities to enter the Dream Ruins and explore the mystery of my transmigration in my previous life. Shiyu fell into deep thought. Brother Kaiyu, since you know me, be unwilling for a while longer. In any case, Brother Kaiyu, you've already been indignant for tens of billions of years. It's fine to endure a few more years. Next, after Shiyu ate some supplements, he worked very hard. Then, he planned to enter a dream a second time. This time, Shiyu still possessed Kaiyu. Emperor Huang and Yinglong STJ.ll followed the script. However, this time, Shiyu wasn't in a hurry to fight. Instead, he stood in the air and looked at Emperor Huang and Yinglong. Yinglong, do you know Shiyu? He asked directly. Yinglong was also stunned. It didn't expect Kaiyu to ask about others when he was about to die. You still know that scourge? Yinglong said, no matter who you know, you won't be able to escape death this time. Disaster! Shiyu cried. Yes, it was him. However, not long after Shiyu was touched, a bug seemed to have appeared in this world of obsession. It collapsed with a bang. Shiyu consumed a lot of energy again, even greater than the last time. He woke up. Yi! Baby Ginseng handed over a root for Shiyu to hold in his mouth. Why? Shiyu got up and was very unconvinced. Why was it fine for Senior Panda to explore the evolution of the iron-eating beast in the ruins, and it was fine to explore the cultivation method of the previous era? It was so difficult for him to just know who he was. 10 more. After Shiyu finished speaking, he ate the supplements under Baby Ginseng's shocked expression. Soon, Shiyu entered the ruins again. Before Yinglong could attack, Shiyu casually found something that could be carved. He wanted to use the online communication method to send a pigeon to ask Shiyu who he was. However, there were still changes this time. Shiyu had just written his name when the ruins collapsed again not long after. This time, the backlash Shiyu suffered was even more serious. He even coughed out blood. After all, after he reached the 11th heavenly layer, even if he added points and deduced, he had never been in such a miserable state. Why don't we try another day? The seal that Senior Space Emperor just strengthened is about to crack again. Kai Tong helped Shiyu up and spoke worriedly like a father taking care of a terminally ill father. The difference was that she was already used to Shiyu's weak and old state. However, even if it was very used to a weak state, it definitely couldn't explore for the time being. If it came again, it would really be dangerous. Baby ginseng, medicine. Kai Tong said. Baby ginseng immediately carried the heavenly emperor cauldron and brought over a pot of medicinal soup boiled inside. This was its new research. The effect should be better. No, Shiyu had a headache. In the surroundings, 11, Buggy, Susu, and the others watched eagerly, not knowing how to help the beast tamer. In my opinion, there's no hurry. Just as everyone was at a loss, Ling suddenly appeared. Space ripples blinked, and a mini-cosmic battleship descended. On the mini-battleship, a battleship girl phantom shot out. Ling? You're finally done refining, Shiyu said. Your eyes, yes, Ling said. L refined the Lucky Star into contact lenses. Kai Tong, Susu, and the others? This was also a weapon? Ah. Shiyu looked carefully into Ling's eyes. His original eyes had turned into a starry sky with a golden star floating inside. This makes it easier to see the changes in luck. But this isn't the key. Master, you're in trouble, right? Shiyu said, what do you think? As he leaned against Kai Tong, he gulped down the medicinal soup and transmitted his experience to Ling in greater detail. After pondering for a moment, Ling said, my suggestion is that Master continue to improve your archaeological abilities. Improve archaeological abilities? Ling said, generally speaking, the goal of Beast Tamer's archaeology is to obtain rarer resources, stronger skills, and stronger inheritances from ancient ruins. In order to achieve this goal, it doesn't matter even if they destroy ruins. After all, it's profitable. Shiyu felt that Ling was implying something about him. Passage of time. However, in the universe, there are also many ordinary planets without extraordinary power. The archaeology there is usually protection-type archaeology, protecting ancient ruins to better obtain information from them and restore history. Shiyu nodded. He knew this. On Earth without extraordinary power and without any transcendent treasures in the ruins, the archaeological teams were all like this. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1652, Chapter 1652, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 2. Chapter 1652, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. In my opinion, protective archaeology is far harder than destruction archaeology, Ling said. Just like how the laws of creation are harder to master than the laws of destruction. A baby can destroy a vase, but creating a vase requires a certain amount of skill or a mature industrial system. As soon as Ling finished speaking, Buggy looked at Kai Tong arrogantly. Kai Tong? I'll understand what you mean. You mean that my destructive archaeological ability has already been maxed out and reached the pinnacle of my current level, but my protective archaeological ability isn't very expert. And exploring the ruins of Kaiyu's obsession requires protective archaeological abilities. The reason why we didn't ask about any gains is that the word Shiyu is like a keyword that will cause destruction to the ruins of the obsession. But if one masters some protective archaeological skill, it's possible that even if I communicate with Shiyu normally with those obsession illusions in the ruins won't collapse. That's right. Ling said. So my suggestion is to let Lord Blue Planet strengthen this ruin again first. As for you, Master, increase your skills first. As for the ruin, you can explore it in the future. Shiyu had a headache. As expected of Ling. If I had known, I would have asked Senior WA to give me more back then. She even helped the Cosmic Overlord crack the ruins. Her archaeological proficiency must be extremely high. Emperor Shi couldn't be relied on. The last time Shiyu told Zijian that Emperor Shi wasn't interested in archaeology, it was actually true. Although Emperor Shi was expert in archaeology, archaeology was essentially only one of his abilities. He didn't major in it, and even the research order was under the unpopular skill of Emperor Shi, future prediction. What Shiyu obtained from Emperor Shi was all that Emperor Shi had mastered. Shiyu had long communicated with Emperor Shi about this. Moreover, in that chaotic era, Emperor Shi wouldn't study protective archaeology at all. As long as he could quickly strengthen his strength and destroy a few ruins, it didn't matter at all. He wasn't interested in the history of the Totem era and the history of the Mythical era. He only wanted to open up the future that belonged to humans. Ling suggested, actually, we can go to the Overlord territory first. The best archaeologists in the entire universe are all gathered in the Cosmic Overlord army. There must be many protective archaeologists over there. Captain Zijian is only one of the many top archaeologists in the Cosmic Overlord army. Just her alone is enough to suppress the World King Planet Archaeological Association. It's obvious that there must be many capable people over there. Moreover, the reason why the Cosmic Overlord, Sipos, supported archaeology seems to be to understand how to dodge the fate of the universe's destruction. This goal is also to collect more information, not strength. Therefore, many protective archaeologists should be influenced. We can go there to learn. It's on the way anyway. Shiyu said, that makes sense. I happen to be going to the Overlord territory to find the Wish Star inheritance for Teacher Cat. When I reach the Overlord territory, I can look for Zijian Special Forces and get Captain Zijian to help introduce me. After making the decision, Shiyu walked out of the room and muttered in his heart. Godmother, are you there? Blue Planet's Will, who was teaching Little Z, fell silent slightly and looked in the direction of Dong Huang's divine capital angrily. What is it? The ruin sealed by Senior W.A. I'll call it the ruins of Caillou's obsession for the time being. I want to ask you to strengthen the seal and help me protect it. Don't let others destroy and crack it. This ruin contains some important information. If I rashly crack it, it might cause the information to be lost. It needs to be protected. With my current ability, it's not enough to crack it. I plan to try again after a while. Blue Planet's Will said, all right, but we still have to head to the Cosmic Sea next. Aren't you worried that the movement of the planet will affect the ruins? I'm worried about that, Shiyu said. How about this? Before you finish exploring this ruin, I'll still stay where I am. There's no need to worry about danger. The current blue planet is stronger than you imagine. Before leaving, I'll think of a way to increase Blue Planet's defense power, Shiyu said. There's no need to go through so much trouble. And not leaving isn't all for you. In the past few days after deciding to set off for the Cosmic Sea, I have a bad premonition. Perhaps the Cosmic Sea isn't as safe as I imagined. Premonition? Shiyu was stunned. Was something big about to happen in the Cosmic Sea? Could it be because of the war in the contaminated land? No way. I'm not sure either, but this galaxy might be more peaceful. All right, Shiyu said. In short, I'll obtain the ability to explore the ruins as soon as possible. Mgel, by the way, after you're done, you can already take this guy away. It has already completely mastered the star contract. Little Z has mastered the star contract. Shiyu was pleasantly surprised. The last time the Space Emperor came to strengthen the seal of the ruins, he even complained to him. He spent a lot of effort to bring the floating planet here from the Cosmic Sea. In the end, Blue Planet only taught it for a day and said that it couldn't be taught. He directly persuaded the floating planet to leave. Shiyu was originally nervous. Could Little Z learn it? If it couldn't, he could only try replicating and teaching. However, from the looks of it, Little Z, who had hatched from drinking the World Tree sap, had a pretty high compatibility with Blue Planet. It was really like a biological daughter who could learn the skills mastered by Blue Planet. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1653, Chapter 1653, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 3. Chapter 1653, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. That's right, Ling, let's prepare. Shiyu turned around and said to Ling. Yes. Before setting off, Shi Yu found Senior Lin and said, "Senior, there's a reason. Let's not explore the Kaiyu ruins first. With our current abilities, it's not enough to completely explore it. I plan to talk about it in a few days. In the next 2 days, you can instill all your gains here through this inheritance water droplet." He took out a pendant that looked like a water droplet and said, "Don't worry, this is already very different from the memory water droplet. It won't affect the user's memories anymore." All right. Senior Panda also felt a little tired. She felt that her gains in the ruins these few days were enough for her to digest for a year or two. There wasn't much meaning in exploring further. Also, tell me what weapon Flower likes to use. I'll get 11 to use metal control to help create a divine weapon later. Well, this, the Panda Senior said, L don't know either. It didn't use weapons before. Then let's use the bamboo stick. In any case, the iron-eating beasts should be able to hold the bamboo easily. Shi Yu smiled. That makes sense. It was very difficult for the Panda Senior not to support it. After all, her family opened the iron bamboo breeding forest, and she was the most familiar with bamboo. If she had to say, what weapon was the most convenient for the pandas in the iron bamboo breeding base? It would definitely be a bamboo stick. Please, said the Panda Senior. It's not a big deal. You just have to win the next world competition. No problem. Senior Panda was especially confident now. After all, she was now a woman who had obtained the iron-eating beast inheritance from the last era. After deciding not to explore the Kaiyu ruins for the time being, Shi Yu's only thing was to add points and cultivate. Not only were the ruins not successfully explored, there were also more troublesome things. For example, he wanted to develop protective archaeological skills, while Beast Shi Yu wanted to try cultivating the cultivation system of the previous era. The information that had been explored at the moment could still be used by Beast Shi Yu to try cultivating. This was something Shi Yu and Beast Shi Yu wanted to cultivate, and the additional points of the pets would definitely still be the same. Only by having a perfect, plus 47, divine skill could they have the possibility of challenging the super divine will. In the team, apart from Susu, 11, Baby Ginseng, and Ling, the other pets clearly had yet to reach the standard. Of course, although Shi Yu was in a hurry to explore the Kaiyu ruins, he also knew that it couldn't be rushed. The Gem Cat had yet to successfully break through to Super Divine and was still refining the source of transcendence. If he wanted to go to the Overlord territory, he definitely had to wait for the Gem Cat. Therefore, Shi Yu chose to see if there were any valuable protective archaeological skills from the World King Planet Archaeological Association first. Shi Yu temporarily returned to World King Planet. At this moment, the God-sealing battle on the World King Star had already ended. Unfortunately, although Dong Huang's bloodline was fierce this time, it was still a little inferior to the previous Shi Yu. In short, the methods were too simple and the accumulation wasn't enough. The Emperor specialized in the Phoenix race, the Dragon Emperor specialized in the Dragon race, and Emperor Wu specialized in the Physique. The changes in the methods weren't exquisite enough. The first place of the God-sealing battle was still snatched by Zhevei. Among them, the Dragon Emperor and Emperor Wu both destroyed a time mark from Zhevei and were forcefully defeated by Zhevei. It was just like how Emperor Wu had once fought Yunnan. Because he didn't have enough methods, he was defeated by Yunnan with radiation. Although he had the Time Mystic Realm to accelerate his accumulation, Zhevei also came from a Time Element large race. He also had Super Divine Elders, and he definitely had decades more accumulation than Emperor Wu and the others. It was still a long way for ordinary geniuses to defeat Zhevei. However, it was precisely because of truce that the people on World King Planet were extremely silent. He understood even more what kind of monster Shi Yu was. Dong Huang's Emperor Wu and the others were also so terrifying. None of them were inferior to Ming Ji Yu, but they were still defeated by Zhevei, as expected of its identity as the 79th champion. However, such as Zhevei was directly defeated by Shi Yu's single pet. It was simply unimaginable. Shi Yu's talent definitely far exceeded the previous emperors of Dong Huang. This was how the beast tamers of the World King Star felt after watching this batch of god-sealing battles. However, all those of A1, it still lost miserably to the intermediate Divine Examiner, the new Examiner, after losing 2 time marks. As for the previous demolishing Divine Ball, it had been directly beaten down by Shiyu and retired. No one knew where it had gone. As for Dong Huang's faction, although no one could win the championship this time, they had also gained a lot. They had caught up to the quasi-divines of the first tier of the universe less than a year after reviving. They were already very satisfied and felt that in another year, they could defeat Zhevei. Shiyu wasn't very surprised by the outcome of this battle. This was because when he replicated Zhevei's skill, Shiyu also discovered that Zhevei had improved quite a lot this year. Perhaps it had undergone a new transformation after losing to him. These old geniuses were also improving at all times. Shiyu, Shiyu. After Shiyu returned to the World King planet, the prediction owl found Shiyu immediately. What's wrong? Shiyu was surprised to see the owl rushing over. When are you going to the Overlord territory? The owl asked. When Teacher Ying successfully breaks through. Well, the cat hasn't successfully broken through yet. In short, hurry up. I can't wait anymore, the owl said. From your expression, you don't look like you can't wait to travel, nor do you look like you want to level up, Shiyu was suspicious. It's nothing. It's just that in the past few days, one vaguely feel that something big will happen in the Cosmic Sea. I don't want to stay here any longer. My brother feels the same, but the foundation of the astrologer race is here. It can't leave. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1654, Chapter 1654, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 4. Chapter 1654, Protection Archaeology and Destruction Archaeology, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. But it doesn't matter to me. I'll go on a long trip with you for a while. What? Shiyu was stunned. You all sensed it? Why didn't I sense it? Who else is there? The owl was puzzled. Blue Planets will also sense that the Cosmic Sea isn't calm. It might not be as safe as the border of the universe, so she plans to decide whether to go to the Cosmic Sea after a while. Ah, this. The owl was stunned. Can't your astrologers predict what will happen in the Cosmic Sea? Shiyu asked. The owl shook its head. Buji Island, one can't predict anything. From the perspective of premonition, everything is peaceful and quiet. Even the battle between the contaminated land and the Environmental Protection Army won't affect anything. Unless the Dark King attacks the Cosmic Sea. But it's basically impossible. In short, it's the unscientific feeling. It makes me and my brother feel that there's something wrong with the situation recently. Strange. It's fine if it's just the two of us. It can be seen that the state of prediction has decreased too much, but Blue Planets will actually. She fell into deep thought. What could it be that could make the Cosmic Sea not calm? Forget it, forget it. There's no need to dodge a small disaster. You can't dodge a huge disaster. Do what you have to do. Even if the sky collapses, Lord World King will hold it up, the owl said. That's true, Shiyu said. The Cosmic Sea isn't safe, so World King Planet will definitely be safe. That's all for now. You go to Blue Planet to wait for Teacher Cat first. I have something to do. Then, we'll set off from the World King Planet. All right, the owl said. I'm also going to communicate with Blue Planet. Next, Shiyu first arrived at the Archaeological Association of the Floating Realm. After the Floating Realm advanced to a first-level realm, the Archaeological Association also opened a branch here. As for the president, he was the ancestor of the Lu family, one of the 4 major families in the Floating Realm. The last 2 could actually be seen as the families where the Space Emperor and Lin Feng's wives were. Their families also had peak divine-level experts presiding over them, but compared to the two peak divine level experts, Wang and Lin, there was still a huge difference in strength. Among them, the ancestor of the Lu family had a certain amount of research on archaeology. Previously, he was a member of the Archaeological Association. This time, as the status of the floating realm increased, he was also promoted to the president of the Archaeological Association in the floating realm. President Lu was extremely shocked when Shi Yu visited. However, Shi Yu only asked for some information about protective archaeological skills through his authority before leaving. Then, just as Shi Yu thought, the level of the World King Planet Archaeological Association was indeed a huge difference from the Cosmic Overlord Army. Shi Yu only looked at this information once and judged that the exploration of the Kaiyu ruins wouldn't be useful. If I join, I can get a president of the headquarters, Shi Yu said. However, it was more or less new knowledge. Shi Yu still learned it, laying the foundation for him to learn skills similar to the passage of time in the future. Then, a few days later, two figures appeared in the Dong Huang realm. From today onwards, I'm a super divine. Aren't you annoying? This is the 7th time you've said this. When you broke through, you muttered to yourself once. When you saw the blue planet's will, you said it once. When you saw the Space Emperor, when you saw me, Teacher 2NA followed beside the Gem Cat and muttered. You don't understand. The Gem Cat smiled richly and looked at the gloomy sky. It felt that the weather was especially clear. You have no idea how strong a super divine level is. Who said I don't understand? The two cats kept arguing. It was surprisingly the Gem Cat that had already broken through to the super divine level. It returned to World King Planet with the owl. As the two cats argued, they snorted and went to find Shi Yu. At this moment, in the Dong Huang realm, in the realm Lord Mystic realm, Shi Yu also opened his eyes and smiled. Teacher Cat had finally broken through. He teleported to the outside world in a step and appeared in front of Teacher Cat and the others. From today onwards, she's a super divine. The owl was the first to introduce her to the cat, making the Gem Cat look angry. Forget it, when are we leaving? The Gem Cat asked. Don't worry, tell me how it feels to be at the super divine level. Have you successfully developed how to increase the quality of the source of transcendence? Don't worry, don't worry. I don't have this yet. The power of faith isn't enough. I'll try again when I've gathered enough inheritance, the Gem Cat said. HMPH, but in terms of strength, it's stronger than I imagined. If I want to, I can make a wish that there's a huge planet that leaves its orbit and collides with Blue Planet. I can make a wish that the sun accelerates for some reason and finally explode, destroying the galaxy. If it's Blue Planet before the breakthrough, it'll definitely be very difficult to survive such a disaster. Even if it's a cosmic disaster like the Starry Sky Storm, there's a high chance of making a wish. Isn't it very strong to let people encounter it? Stop, stop, stop. Shi Yu's face darkened. Why are they all murdering Blue Planet? The Gem Cat said innocently, it's more direct to use planets as an example. Shi Yu said, moreover, it's Blue Planet before it broke through. It means that it can only deal with divine-level creatures. Be careful. Don't expose your identity as the weakest super divine. Otherwise. The cat was furious. Who's the weakest super divine? When we reach the Overlord territory, I have to defeat a super divine for you to see. Let me tell you. When I saw the ancestors of the 5 divine races on Blue Planet, I wanted to ask them to spar with me, but they didn't dare to agree. The owl thought to itself that it didn't dare to agree. There was no benefit in defeating it. It was only natural. If it lost to it, it would be the real weakest super divine. They weren't stupid, so why fight? Low profile, low profile. When we reach the Overlord territory, we have to keep a low profile. There are many more powerful divine levels over there than on World King Planet, Teacher 2NA reminded, afraid that Teacher Cat would be arrogant. Let's go. The Gem Cat snorted. All right. Shi Yu smiled. At this moment, everyone was already here. It seemed like they could set off for the Overlord territory. Not only was the Overlord territory the furthest from Blue Planet, but it was also very far from World King Planet. This voyage was the true voyage. Although he didn't cultivate to a bottleneck on World King Planet, it was the same as before. It was the same to slowly cultivate on the trip. In any case, sure. You still brought a lot of resources this time. Prepare, prepare. Let's go, Shiyu said. After Shiyu and the others bid farewell to their acquaintances, they set off from World King Planet and began to head to the Overlord territory. The Overlord territory was indeed far away. During the voyage, the concept of time faded again. Shiyu spent time cultivating and adding points. In the blink of an eye, a year passed. This was even under the situation where Shiyu used super divine level energy to drive it. In the past year, after leaving the Cosmic Sea, they had basically not encountered any life. It seemed to be a long way from the Overlord territory. Just as Shiyu thought that he was going to work overtime for a long time on such a boring voyage, Ling said, "Master, a spaceship has been detected sending us a distress signal." After deciphering it, the other party encountered a starry sky storm during the voyage and was lucky enough to escape. However, the energy has been exhausted, and the spaceship is already broken. They hope to receive our... It's not good, right? We don't have much energy left, Shiyu said. After saving others, we encountered an accident during this period. What if we lack energy? It said that after it became a super divine, although it lacked navigation energy, it brought a bunch of other rare cultivation resources. It will definitely repay us. It can do anything. Saving people is more important. If there's not enough energy, we can delay the replenishment of the planet on the way, Shiyu said. Wait, it seems to be someone familiar, Ling exclaimed. In the distance, in a broken spaceship, a divine bull flew out and mooed for help in the starry sky. It was Shiyu and the others, the final examiner of the God-sealing battle, the demolishing divine bull German. At this moment, the demolishing divine bull was crying in the starry sky. Unlucky, too unlucky. After being released from prison, because it was beaten up by that God-sealing king, it directly became the focus of discussion on the World King Planet. After being beaten up so badly, it felt that it instantly didn't have the face to stay on the World King Planet, nor was it willing to its relatives and friends. The originally dim intention of joining the Cosmic Overlord army appeared in the demolishing divine bull German's heart again. Not only did it want to join the Cosmic Overlord army, but it also wanted to see the Cosmic Overlord's main body and worship its idol. Therefore, it chose to run away from home and bring its mechanical assistant to the Overlord territory alone. However, they had only set off for 2 years when they encountered the starry sky storm and almost died. However, there was always a way out. It looked at this battleship from the direction of the Cosmic Sea excitedly and expectantly, hoping to obtain their help. Moo, speaking of which, why does this battleship look so familiar? If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1655, Chapter 1655, Overlord Territory, 1. Chapter 1655, Overlord Territory, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. The demolishing divine bull confirmed that it wasn't wrong. It had definitely seen this battleship at a certain time. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so familiar. Where was it? As it was thinking, the battleship opposite also slowly drove towards it. Seeing that the battleship was paying attention to him, German was delighted. But soon, its joy stopped. Because the battleship was densely filled with pirate flags. What a sin! Space pirates! This was like a weak girl getting lost in the forest and calling for help. The demolishing divine bull was stunned. However, so be it. No matter who it was, as long as a life passed by, it was better than losing it in the universe. At most, it would be stripped naked. At most, it would join the other party and work. It believed that the other party wouldn't refuse a high-level divine. But in the next moment, German was stunned again. Because a huge projection quickly appeared on the battleship. It was a figure. Examiner German, long time no see. Why are you so down and out? He was a divine-level big boss who had defeated Survey 79 times in a row. The huge figure was Shiyu. Shiyu greeted the Examiner German through the starry sky, stunning him. It's you. The demolishing divine bull was extremely shocked. It looked at this familiar figure that made it fall into dire straits and was shocked. Why was this king of gods here? That's right, it's me, Shiyu said. Examiner German, looks like you need help. The demolishing divine bull was stunned and wanted to say something. But when it recalled that its broken spaceship couldn't fly anymore, it hurriedly said, help me. All right. Shiyu opened the door for the demolishing divine bull and let it come first. Soon, the demolishing divine bull flew directly to the accompanying flying reception cabin of the cosmic battleship. Then, it saw the clean and energetic Shiyu inside. Moo! It's indeed you. After the demolishing divine bull entered, it had a complicated expression and asked, why are you here? I'm here to find someone I know, Shiyu said with a smile. Speaking of which, Examiner German, why are you here? German was really embarrassed to say that he had run away from home. He lied and said, I'm also looking for an acquaintance. Then, you encountered the starry sky storm? Shiyu asked. Yes, the demolishing divine bull had a bitter expression. If it weren't for that battle and the battle experience I obtained from you to deal with the starry sky storm, I might have died now. Now, my spaceship is already broken, and my energy supply is severely insufficient. My mechanical assistant is also broken, and it can't help me lead the way. The range it's in has also exceeded the upper limit of the teleportation keystones. If I hadn't brought enough resources, I would definitely have starved to death in the starry sky. On account that we're fated to fight, help me. Examiner German, don't worry. I'll get Ling to help you repair your navigation assistant and give you some energy, Shiyu said. Thank you, the Black Yak was immediately extremely touched. Initially, after being beaten up by Shiyu in the God-sealing battle, it didn't like Shiyu and the others very much, but now, it felt that this group of people was all right. Are you going to the Overlord territory to find someone? German asked. Shiyu said, that's right. Can I go with you? German said. I'm also going to the Overlord territory. It suddenly remembered that even after the spaceship was repaired, it might still encounter danger. It was a guy who knew nothing about cosmic navigation. It was still too difficult for it to sail alone. However, Shiyu and the others were different. Shiyu's Ling was a super mechanical life form that had mastered the cosmic disaster skill. It was definitely very expert in cosmic navigation. It would be best if he could hitch a ride. About that, Shiyu said. L won't let you lead the way for free. What do you want? Energy crystal, cosmic crystal, super divine stone. I have many resources here, the demolishing divine bull said. You have a super divine stone? Shiyu was surprised. L heard that the super divine stone is very popular in the Overlord territory, so I brought one from home. Shiyu said, in that case, it's not impossible to spend some effort to give you a ride, Examiner German, but I want this super divine stone. Sure, German said in pain. This was the rarest resource he had brought. Shiyu smiled. The last time Captain Zijian gave him a super divine stone, he had yet to open it and was still saving it. Now that there was another one, it wasn't bad. The reason why Shiyu wasn't in a hurry to open it was because he felt that it was too troublesome to find the 5 super divines one at a time. He planned to gather 5 consecutive draws and 10 consecutive draws before opening it. Now, including this one, it was already clueless. In that case, Ling, help repair that spaceship and modify it into a companion spaceship. We'll set off with Examiner German, Shiyu said to Ling. Yes. After answering, Ling's clone flew out of the battleship and towards the demolishing divine bull spaceship. At this moment, the demolishing divine bull said, you guys have already broken through to the divine level, right? It sensed the extraordinary aura of Ling. When did you leave World King Planet? Everyone should know about our breakthrough? Shiyu asked. Not long after the God-sealing battle ended, I left World King Planet. Divine level. Impressive. What have you done again? Everyone actually knows. The corners of the demolishing Divine Bull's mouth twitched. I see. Ha ha, it's nothing. We've indeed broken through to the divine level, and it's been a while. Fortunately, Examiner German, didn't you also break through to the high-level divine level? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1656, Chapter 1656, Overlord Territory, 2. Chapter 1656, Overlord Territory, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Shiyu said. From the looks of it, forget about the battle result of them defeating a super divine. Examiner German didn't even know about the Blue Planet team building and him taking the 4 holy ruins. High-level divine was nothing. The demolishing Divine Bull muttered in its heart. These guys in front of it could even defeat it, an intermediate-level divine, at the quasi-divine level. They were even more abnormal than that survey. Now that they had broken through to the divine level, wouldn't they be able to compete with top-notch divines? As a high-level divine, it definitely couldn't defeat the other party. It's fixed. Just as Shiyu and the demolishing Divine Bull were chatting, Ling's clone flew back. After reporting, it fused back into its main body. It's repaired. Examiner German looked at his spaceship in the distance with a stunned expression. How long had it been? Was it even a minute? It turned around, looked at the intact spaceship, and was stunned. It was really repaired. It's very good at these jobs. Since it's repaired, let's continue setting off. Let's not waste too much time. This. Examiner German still didn't understand why it was repaired so quickly. It quickly flew back to its spaceship and checked again. It realized that the broken mechanical assistant had also woken up. Monster machinery, it muttered. It had never seen such a ridiculous mechanical life form. No wonder it could master cosmic disaster skills at the quasi-divine level. Just like that, under Shiyu's arrangements, Ling dragged German spaceship and brought an additional burden to continue sailing. Now that it had a pilot, German relaxed. But soon, it suddenly felt that something was wrong. Wait! Shiyu had clearly said that they were going to the Overlord territory to find someone. But what was with the dense pirate flags he saw just now? The other party's goal was definitely not as simple as finding someone. The demolishing Divine Bull immediately felt that it had gotten into a pirate. What happened? As the battleship stopped, the super divine Gem Cat woke up from its sleep and stretched in boredom. It first went to find something to eat before strolling leisurely on the battleship. When it passed by Shiyu, it asked. For the past year, it had either slept or eaten. The Gem Cat didn't feel free. It only felt that it was living very comfortably. She liked this life too much. It's nothing. I'll save a cow along the way and obtain a super divine stone, Shiyu said. Teacher Ying, can you stop sleeping? It's time to work. Next, make a wish and encounter a few resource stars. I've been working hard to cultivate other skills. I didn't slack off, the Gem Cat girl said. Sleeping isn't lazy. I'm cultivating in a dream. It had to be said that with a super divine level physique, learning quasi-divine skills and raising them to divine skills was as simple as adults learning addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now, the Gem Cat already had more than 10 divine skills. Moreover, with the powerful control of the super divine level, it completed the 9-element combination divine skill and completed the upgrade of meteorite disillusionment. Its battle power was gradually approaching Transcendent 1. Like hell I believe you. I got baby ginseng to develop this cultivation fruit skill just to slack off. Why did it become hard work so confidently when it came to you? Shiyu exposed it mercilessly, leaving the Gem Cat speechless. I'm leaving. The Gem Cat left directly, and Shiyu left to continue cultivating. He summoned Beast Shiyu. After a year of hard work, Beast Shiyu had already cultivated to a certain extent. As expected, just as Shiyu had guessed, although the human bodies of this era couldn't cultivate the Dao system of the previous era, Beast Shiyu from the previous era could directly cultivate. It wasn't that he had completed the ability to transform into a beast-taming weapon, but apart from his physique, a new extraordinary power appeared in Beast Shiyu's body compared to before. This extraordinary power was like a white aura that was purely extracted from Beast Shiyu's body through Shiyu's spirit. Shiyu didn't know its name, but this aura could not only protect the mind and soul, but it could also cooperate with physical strength to attack. It was very useful. The increase in Beast Shiyu had already exceeded the use of the 4 Holy Faith equipment. As Beast Shiyu relied on the pseudo-source of transcendence to strengthen, Shiyu named it Essence Energy. The Essence Energy was very strong. Therefore, Shiyu had already taken off all the equipment of Beast Shiyu. There was no other reason. The power of the 4 Holy Ruins had almost been used up by Shiyu. This was the price of adding all pets to the perfect divine level. In short, raising the 4 holy pets and supporting points had already consumed a lot of energy. He really couldn't afford to raise Beast Shiyu. Therefore, this new cultivation system came very timely. After losing the 4 holy armor, not only did Beast Shiyu not become weaker, but he also became stronger. Facing Transcendent 1 to 3, it should be able to have a huge advantage. It had battle power comparable to that of Transcendent 4. Without a doubt, it was Shiyu's greatest trump card at the moment. Unfortunately, apart from the new power system named Essence Energies by Shiyu, Beast Shiyu had yet to master the skill to turn life into a weapon. It wasn't that the power system of the previous era was very difficult to learn. Those soldiers could all learn it, so there was no reason for Beast Shiyu to learn it so slowly. After thinking about it, Shiyu could only attribute it to the fact that Beast Shiyu's body was incomplete and lacked spirit and soul, causing his learning speed to decrease. Unfortunately, if he learned all of it, Beast Shiyu's battle power could still further increase his enhancement. Next, Shiyu entered a boring cultivation life. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1657, Chapter 1657, Overlord Territory, 3. Chapter 1657, Overlord Territory, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Apart from the accidental experience of picking up the demolishing divine bull, the trip was smooth. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months passed. Shiyu had never cultivated so hard for so long in one go. Fortunately, Ling's performance was not bad, and its energy was also very high level. It only took a year to enter the Overlord territory. Otherwise, sure, you might have to experience what Phoenix Man and the others had experienced. They set off from the World King planet to the edge of the cosmic sea to find Blue Planet. With the help of many interstellar teleportation arrays, it took nearly 10 years. If Shiyu used their aircraft to sail, Shiyu estimated that he wouldn't be able to reach his destination in 100 years. Master, there's someone else. According to the star map, we seem to have finally approached the core of the Overlord territory. After arriving here, the number of interstellar fleets we might encounter will increase. Shiyu was awakened by Ling from his cultivation. Not bad. I haven't seen anyone alive for so long. I thought we were lost. But Master, the guy we encountered this time doesn't seem to have good intentions, Ling said. Who? Shiyu was stunned. At the same time, the demolishing divine bull, which had been brought away by Shiyu and the others for 2 months, also received a reminder from its mechanical assistant. When it learned that it was about to encounter other life forms, it couldn't help but be excited. It looked like it was close to the core area of the Overlord territory. However, just like Shiyu and the others, when they observed the battleship in the distance, they were stunned. Because this battleship was also filled with pirate flags. Of course, most importantly, apart from the pirate flag, this pirate crew also had the symbol of the Cosmic Overlord Army, the Overlord Territory and the Cosmic Sea. These two places should be the most popular places for space pirates, Shiyu said. That's right, Ling said. However, the pirates in the Overlord territory are relatively different. The pirates here basically have more official identities. In other words, not only are they from the Cosmic Overlord army, but they're also space pirates. They're lawfully looting and even snatching from their own people. They're even snatching things from their own people. It's really F***ing crazy, Shiyu said. So we have encountered someone in the same industry? Yes, the other party should want to snatch our stuff. Ling nodded. As soon as they finished speaking, the pirate battleship opposite had already issued a warning. A red sign instantly appeared on Ling's display, and the voice came from afar. Warning! The pirate ship in front, stop quickly. Warning! If you don't carry out the rules battle, we will launch a full-scale attack. Warning! Under the continuous warnings of the other party, at this moment, Examiner German hurriedly asked for a conversation and shouted for Shiyu in the conversation channel. Shiyu, the pirates of the Cosmic Overlord army are opposite. Talk to them nicely and don't get into a conflict. It's best to carry out a rules battle. Examiner German was very familiar with the Cosmic Overlord army and the matters in the Overlord territory. This is a big characteristic of the Overlord territory. Many factions plunder for a living. However, because everyone belongs to the Cosmic Overlord army and many foreign merchant groups want to do business with the Cosmic Overlord army, it's not easy to destroy the trading ecology. Therefore, the space pirates here basically won't be ruthless. Generally speaking, it's two groups that act according to the rules. One person from each group will carry out a duel of some resources. The winner will take away the other party's resources. Everyone, continue sailing. If there's no deep hatred, it won't lead to a full-scale life and death battle. We should just admit that we're unlucky and fight the other party according to the rules. Don't offend the local tyrant. Shiyu, Ling, and the others stopped the battleship and opened the door for the demolishing Divine Ball. The Black Yak immediately entered. Examiner German, you're very familiar with this side, Shiyu said with a smile. Moo, the Black Yak said with a chuckle. That was true. After all, in order to join the Cosmic Overlord army, it had done a lot of homework. If it weren't for the fact that the Overlord army of the Cosmic Sea didn't dare to take it in due to the pressure on its family, it would have long joined. At this moment, the two battleships stopped in the starry sky. Soon, dense figures appeared in the battleship opposite. About dozens of people came out of this battleship, from quasi-divine to divine level. Although they were humans, they weren't humans, but Derekians. They had red humanoid bodies. Compared to humans, they had a pair of long red antennae and belonged to the space race and aliens. It's the Derekians. Their battle power is very strong. When the Black Yak saw the composition of this pirate crew, its heart turned cold. It knew that the resources were completely gone. He looks a little familiar, Shiyu said when he saw the other party. It seemed that Captain Zijian's two top-notch divine bodyguards were Derekians. Since it's not suitable for a conflict, let's go too. We'll settle it peacefully, Shiyu said. With that said, Shiyu teleported out of the battleship and arrived in the starry sky, facing the pirate crew opposite. At this moment, the Derekian saw the unfamiliar symbol and name of the Era pirate group and felt strange. When they saw that only two people had appeared on the other side, a human and a Black Yak, they felt even more strange. Where are you from? Why are you so unfamiliar? The top-notch divine Derekians in the lead said, we're the 7th division of the Derekians. Pirates. You know the rules, right? No, but before that, let me ask you a question. We're from the Cosmic Sea and came to find someone we know. I wonder if you've heard of her. Her name is Zijian. She's also from the Cosmic Overlord army and specializes in archaeology. She's the captain of the Zijian Special Forces. Shiyu asked for directions. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1658, Chapter 1658, Overlord Territory, 4. Chapter 1658, Overlord Territory, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Zijian Special Forces? Upon hearing Shiyu mention this side, the surrounding Derikians discussed. Clearly, they had heard of the Zijian Special Forces. The Derikian in the lead narrowed his eyes and said, "So you're a friend of the Zijian Special Forces?" "I've indeed heard of the Zijian Special Forces going to the Cosmic Sea. However, even if you know the Zijian Special Forces, you still have to follow the rules. How about this? If you can win, we'll tell you where the Zijian Special Forces should be at this time. And if you lose, one super divine resource will be left. I'm the captain of the 7th Division of the Derikians Pirates, Fa Kun. I swear on the honor of the Cosmic Overlord Army that the battle is fair and just." "No problem," Shiyu said. It was still difficult to say, but from the looks of it, Captain Zijian's reputation was useless. This group of people actually still wanted to fight. However, considering that the pirates of the Cosmic Overlord Army had even snatched from their own people, he was relieved. The rule is for a 1vs1. If the one fighting is a human beast tamer, it's fine to only count the number of humans, right? "No problem," Shiyu said again. As soon as he finished speaking, the group of pirates smiled, feeling that they had encountered a fat sheep. Are these guys really pirates? Why do I feel like they're fat sheep? They actually agreed to bet with the super divine resource for a lousy position information. Moreover, when they heard the name of our Derikians pirates, they actually didn't feel any sense of danger at all. This super divine resource was taken too easily. The gains this time aren't small. I feel that boss should want more. From the looks of it, they don't look poor. Hey, hey, hey. German was also vexed by Shiyu's arrogance. Derikians were a large race in the Overlord territory. In the Cosmic Sea, they definitely had the strength of the top 50 races in the starry sky. Not only did they have top-notch experts, but they also had many members. The lower limit of their race was also high, and they would definitely be divines when they reached adulthood. They had infiltrated various fields of the Universe Overlord Army, and their strength couldn't be underestimated at all. However, Shiyu was really here to find someone. It had also heard of the Zijian Special Forces. "All the best. The other party is very strong," German said. "You've broken through, so you should still be stronger than me. You don't need me to fight, right?" "Moo. Of course not, but if I lose, you can give me the resources," Shiyu said. The demolishing Divine Bull's heart cracked. "Call Shalud over." Just as Shiyu and the others had yet to decide on their battle target, on the Derikians' pirate side, under the call of the captain of the 7th Division, a huge green fat dragon monster that looked like a dinosaur walked out of the other party's battleship. "Shalud, there's another battle." "Please," the captain of the Derikians' pirate said. "I'll understand. Leave it to me." The green fat dragon spread its wings and flew to the center of the starry sky. Seeing this green fat dragon, German's expression darkened again. Perfect divine. As expected of the Derikians pirates of the Cosmic Overlord Army. There's actually a perfect divine presiding over one team. It's over. It's completely over now. With a top-notch divine, he thought that Shiyu could still fight, but from the looks of it, it was better to admit defeat directly and give resources. No, his resources. Isn't this normal? We're out to rob and bet. If we don't have some strength, we'll lose so much that we won't even have our pants, Shiyu said indifferently. Hoo. The flying green dragon stopped and shouted. "Hey, little brats opposite, I'm a combatant of the 7th Division of the Derikians Pirates, Shalud. Who wants a duel? Come out quickly." Just as it finished speaking, the mechanical hatch of Shiyu's pirate cruise battleship opened, and an extremely beautiful mechanical wind careen flew out of the battleship. This was a battle mechanical clone created by Ling. "It's here. It's your next opponent." As Shiyu spoke, the wind careen had already flown opposite Shalud. Seeing its opponent and the Wind Careen that appeared, be it the members of the Derrikians Pirates or the demolishing Divine Bull, their pupils constricted. The Wind Careen in the starry sky had an elegant form and aura, but it couldn't hide the shocking divine power on its body. The surrounding people actually sensed the huge divine power fluctuations of a perfect divine on this Wind Careen. The Derrikians Pirates, who thought that they had encountered a fat sheep, instantly understood that the pirates of this era weren't to be trifled with. This unknown little pirate group actually had a perfect divine presiding over it. Without the appearance of a super divine, a perfect divine was already the core battle power of most factions. German was stunned. He didn't remember such a pet among Shiyu's pets. Could it be a new pet? No. Shiyu had just reached the divine level not long ago. There was no reason for him to be able to control a perfect divine. Perhaps this was the guardian of Shiyu's trip. Hope rose in the bull's heart again. Perhaps its super divine resources could still be saved. Don't worry, Lord Shallud has experienced hundreds of battles. The unknown creature opposite looks delicate and weak. It should mainly cultivate wind element power. It won't be a match for the powerful space dragon race. Someone in the Derrikians Pirates analyzed the situation. The originally one-sided battle of rules in the eyes of the Derrikians Pirates instantly became confusing. You attack first. Shallud had indeed never seen a pet like the Wind Careen. It couldn't help but be cautious. The other party's divine power wasn't inferior to its own, and its ability was unknown. It planned to be safer and counter every move to find the other party's weakness. After all, it was related to a super divine resource, so it didn't dare to be sloppy. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1659, Chapter 1659, Overlord Territory, 5. Chapter 1659, Overlord Territory, 5. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Roar. However, although it let the other party attack first, it still condensed a tall and huge dragon armor and armed its entire body. The towering divine armor body made Shallud's aura even more terrifying. A vast green divine power swept through the starry sky, forming a shocking galaxy phenomenon that flowed around. In that case, I won't hold back, the Wind Careen clone replied calmly. When it spoke, the examiner, German, was stunned. It felt that this voice was familiar. In the next moment, as the Wind Careen muttered softly, a small seven-colored typhoon condensed in front of it. This small typhoon was extremely violent, like the chaos caused by thousands of stars falling into a star. Buzz, 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 buzz. In the small typhoon, a fatal aura kept emitting, making Shallud's heart skip a beat. In the next moment, as the Wind Careen swung its head, the small wind ball was directly thrown out and disappeared from the spot. In an instant, spatial ripples appeared in front of Shallud. It was only when the starry sky storm approached that Shallud realized how terrifying this skill was. Its expression instantly trembled. This is Starry Sky Storm? How is this possible? As Shallud shouted in shock, its body was instantly hit. The armor on its body seemed to have encountered a terrifying attack and instantly turned into powder. The cells on its body also kept dying, as if it had encountered an incomparable toxin-like heavy injury. Under its heart-wrenching scream, the small storm even emitted a boom that was like countless stars exploding, drowning its voice. Shallud! Seeing this scene, everyone from the Derrikians Pirates was shocked and couldn't believe it. When everyone opened their mouths in shock to react, the light had already dissipated. At this moment, Shallud, who had just turned into a god, directly lost consciousness from all the injuries. Its body emitted smoke in the starry sky. It was first swept up by the gust and stopped for a moment. Then, in a miserable state, it slowly fell down. Lord Shallud! Everyone was shocked again. He was insta-killed? Who exactly are you? The captain of the 7th Division was shocked and couldn't understand this scene. If the other party was a super divine, he could still understand, but they were both perfect divines. How was this possible? Looks like we won. Shiyu smiled and said, "Don't worry, its injuries aren't fatal." As Shiyu finished speaking, German, who was beside him, was the most stunned. It could tell that the Wind Kirin's move just now was clearly a skill that compressed a disaster like the Starry Sky Storm to the extreme. German, who had escaped death in the Starry Sky Storm not long ago, was very familiar with the Starry Sky Storm. But how was this possible? How could the Starry Sky Storm be compressed? Even if it mastered a similar disaster skill, how much proficiency would it take? Control? Could it be that it's Ling? At this moment, Examiner German spoke beside Shiyu. Could it be that this Wind Kirin was Ling? After all, Ling also mastered the Starry Sky Storm. However, in such a short period of time, it really couldn't believe that Ling, who had yet to even enter the top 3 of Shiyu's team, could grow to this extent and instantly kill a perfect divine. Oh? To be precise, it's Ling's clone. Its main body is still in a navigation state, so it's not easy to attack, Shiyu said. A year ago, Ling was a quasi-epoch god with 2 perfect, plus 47, divine skills. Now, Space Control, Starry Sky Storm, and other divine skills had also been maxed out by Shiyu. A pile of quasi-transcendent divine skills could defeat a perfect divine with a clone. If it wanted its main body to attack, it had to be a super divine. This Examiner, German, left the World King planet so early. As expected, it didn't know anything. It was just a perfect divine. What was it nervous about? It wasn't a big deal. However, Shiyu realized an important problem. This guy had other super divine resources in its pocket. What, clone? When Shiyu finished speaking, German found it even more difficult to accept. It couldn't understand. Stop lying to it. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1660, Chapter 1660, Challenging a Cosmic Overlord, 1. Chapter 1660, Challenging a Cosmic Overlord, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Because they had lost the rules battle, the Derekians pirates had no choice but to fulfill their promise. As the rescue personnel ran to retrieve Shalud, the captain of the Derekians pirates looked at Shiyu, the demolishing divine bull, and the Wind Kirin in silence. Although it didn't know their identities and origins, it was already certain that this was a very terrifying pirate crew. Fortunately, there had been no direct large-scale conflict previously. Otherwise, their 7th Division would have suffered. This time, it had kicked an iron plate. However, fortunately, what was used as a bet this time was only ordinary information. "We admit defeat," Captain Derekian said. "According to the bet, we will tell you where the Zgen Special Forces are. That star path isn't easy to walk. From the start, we were the ones who took advantage of the bet. Next, we'll lead the way and escort you over." "All right," Shiyu said. "Then I'll leave it to you. However, we're in a hurry. It's best if we can drive faster." "About a month's flight," Captain Derekian said. "No problem." As Shorty didn't sense the other party's malice, Shiyu chose to believe the other party. Then, both parties returned to their battleships. Examiner German followed behind Shiyu and saw with its own eyes that after the Wind Kirin entered the battleship, it slowly integrated. It couldn't help but be stunned again. Mu-Q, it stepped on the ground, and its cow hair stood on end. "Why are you so strong?" Even if the upgrade of the mechanic class was relatively simple in theory, it shouldn't be that fast. As long as there was a higher-level mechanical system and the guidance of a powerful mechanical god, the upgrade of the mechanic class was very fast. If there was no way, researching it itself would be the slowest. The demolishing divine bull felt that, with Shiyu's identity as the king of gods and his identity as a doctorate in disaster science, it wasn't difficult for him to come into contact with higher-level mechanical systems. But even so, wasn't this leveling speed a little too fast? In more than 2 years, from a quasi-divine to the top of a perfect divine, not to mention a descendant of a super divine family like it, even a son of a super divine wouldn't be so fierce. It's very simple. Just use more resources, Shi Yu said with a smile. Resources? The corners of German's mouth twitched when it saw Shi Yu so calm. They're not second-generation heirs, but they're definitely going to leave a deep mark in the starry sky of the universe and become the first generation of super divines. Who are the most dazzling? Although Examiner German was ignorant and incompetent, it had been locked in the prison of the World King planet for 100 years and had seen all kinds of geniuses. It had also interacted with geniuses like Ming Ji Yu and Zhevei for so long. It was still good at judging people. Shi Yu's growth trajectory was different from some second-generation geniuses. The only ones it could associate with were the capable subordinates at the peak of the super divine level under the thrones of the various universes. Shi Yu, is the Zhejian FS Special Force you're going to find the same special force that's good at archaeology? That's right, you know it too, Shi Yu said. So who are you looking for? I can help you ask Captain Zhejian. A German said, that, actually. I'm actually looking for the Cosmic Overlord. Shi Yu? You're probably dreaming, right? Shi Yu couldn't help but say. Although one of his goals on this trip was also to see if he could see a Cosmic Overlord, thinking about it, a Cosmic Overlord wasn't that easy to see. Only by being at the peak of the super divine level could one see a World King. It slept all year round. It was probably even harder to see a Cosmic Overlord stronger than a World King. Not to mention German, even its super divine grandfather would probably find it difficult to see a Cosmic Overlord. There's no hurry, German said, I'll think of a way slowly. Actually, I've accidentally heard of a way to see a Cosmic Overlord, but I'm not sure yet. I need to verify it. When the time comes, let me talk to Captain Z. Jian. I'll definitely know. All right. Shi Yu nodded. This cow looked to know a lot about the Cosmic Overlord army. Next, let's follow them first. Shi Yu looked ahead. Nearly a month later. Twilight Star Realm, Heavenly Net Planet. Not long ago, an era ruin appeared in the Twilight Star Realm. It's suspected to be a ruin mystic realm from that last era. The headquarters summoned many archaeological teams to return. Among them, the Zhejian Special Forces were temporarily summoned back to explore the ruins. On the screen of the space battleship, Ling, a message from the Derekians pirates leading the way appeared. Now, their location should be here. Twilight Star Realm, Heavenly Net Planet. This planet is the temporary camp of Zhejian Special Forces. Who is it? When the Derekians pirates approached the Heavenly Net Planet, two powerful auras came from the area. Each of them had reached the top-notch divine level and wasn't inferior to Captain Derekian. With two beams of light, two aliens with red antennae flew into the starry sky and looked at the symbol of the Derekians pirates with puzzled gazes. Hello, fellow clansmen. There's no need to be nervous. We mean no harm. Captain Derekian appeared and spoke politely. What's the matter? The two Derekians in the Zhejian Special Forces weren't nervous at all. Now that cracking the era ruin was a big project of the Cosmic Overlord army, although they were of the same race and camp, if the Derekians pirates dared to cause trouble, not to mention a division, even the entire pirate crew would probably be dealt with. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know a report chapter, so we can fix it as soon as possible.